We're still short on rain, however, and we need water. So please make it over this weekend, but after Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. We need water. And Lord, we ask you for a blessing for our Commissioners Court this morning to do what's best for our people of Cameron County. Each item on this agenda is important, and we ask you to help guide the commissioners and the county judge to do what's best for all of our people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bobby. How you been, Pal?
Feel better?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone? Pretty good? Okay. This is Commissioners Court regular meeting set for Tuesday, the 2nd day of May, 2006 at 9:30 a.m.
Use this one.
Jesus, yeah, right. The 3rd day of May, 2006 at 9:30 a.m. It's approximately 9:34. We were asked to go into executive session right away, so I'd like to entertain a motion.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second to go into executive session. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're going to go in executive session with we're now in executive session.
All in favor say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor say aye. We're now in executive session. Aye.
Motion and second to go into regular session?
The second.
Yeah, we already
I didn't.
vote.
I know, but if the Commissioner Garza speaks real low, so I don't know.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We're now back into regular session. Item number 31A, possible action on confer with Commissioner Court Legal Counsel concerning Cameron County versus Faulkner USA.
Commissioner, excuse me, Judge, you might be reading off the regular sessions. The regular meeting instead of the special meeting. These are different numbers.
Did I get that? Yes, I got that. Okay. That's 28A. Same thing that I just now read. Is a motion to acknowledge the report of counsel?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Tamayo,
Second.
second by Commissioner Garcia. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. 28B, possible action on confer with Commissioner Court Legal Counsel concerning issues regarding the Cameron County Detention Centers and the Cameron County Sheriff's Administration Building.
No report. Move to table.
Second.
There's a motion to table by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Tamayo. I wasn't in there when y'all talked about that, and I can talk about this in open session. I had a meeting yesterday with the sheriff, and we met with the gentleman that's been involved in the design process for renovating existing buildings or warehouses to convert them into minimum security detention facilities. And we met to discuss this issue with respect to renovating the warehouse and looking at a possibility of putting in like a trustee camp or a minimum security camp there to pull some of our trustees out of the jail, put some of the child support detainees, the misdemeanor detainees in that area. And I'm gonna put it on the agenda next week for consideration of going out to hire an architect to look at that possibility. We think we can house as many as 300 to 400 inmates there at a construction cost that is probably half the normal construction cost for a detention facility, and that'll free up 300 to 400 jails in Carrizales, Rucker, and in the facilities downstairs. In beds. I'm sorry, 300 to 400 beds. It's got a timetable for construction with design and construction of about 10 months, which is really, really good. So I'll bring it back to y'all next Tuesday, and we'll see what we can do on that. We've run it, the sheriff has run it by the State Jail Standards Commission, and they have expressed interest in us doing that. They think that it's a good idea, and they don't think that we're going to have much of a problem, assuming we do it right, in getting approval from the State Jail Standards Commission for such a facility. So anyway, that's going on. I was out there. We toured the warehouse. We met with the architect yesterday, and I'm going to want to travel to Fort Worth, where they took a like warehouse to examine it and see how they did it and how it came out, and talk to their sheriff and see how it's worked for them as well.
They did about the same thing?
They did almost exactly the same thing.
Well, it'd be nice to put that building to some kind of
Yes,
use.
it's
This
just
has been
sitting
sitting
there.
there for,
And now that we our cost
Years.
estimates on the bid on the Harlingen Annex came out higher than what was projected by the architects. That money's not available anymore for the vehicle maintenance barn. So let's just do this. I mean, the vehicle maintenance barn can survive with what it's got right now for a while. So
so then do we need to withdraw our table and acknowledge report in open session of this item?
I think so.
Yeah?
Second.
Yeah?
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Judge, can I take just 5 seconds to announce something? I want to invite the people on television land out there, people at the audience, that we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony at Brownie Park on Saturday, starting at 9 o'clock. There's going to be, we call it Brownie Park because the park was built first, but across the street, there's a new building which we're going to celebrate its opening, grand opening, which consists of the senior/teen center, the WEEK program building, and also the Head Start. So we want to invite the public to attend at 9 o'clock. There's going to be refreshments and things like that to eat, hors d'oeuvres, courtesy of HEB. The
Ceremonial
WIC
for
program?
Yes, also.
Good.
The senior/teen center with Mr. Bob Clark, and also the Head Start. It's a beautiful building. We were out there 2 weeks ago planting flowers and things like that, and there was a lot of kids from the neighborhood, by Escondido, and also doing the same thing for a few hours. You know, it was real hot, and they were out there.
That's
all day.
wonderful.
You know, so it's real pretty building.
Getting the community involved is important.
I wanted to announce that before we forget, because I know at the beginning of the meeting, sometimes it doesn't come out. That's why I said, I'm going to interrupt right in the middle. So thank you for allowing me to do that, Judge, Commissioners.
Okay.
D.
No, see.
See?
C.
Move the table.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Tamayo.
Nothing.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. That was on the Dancy building. 28E, possible action on confer with Commissioner Court Legal Counsel concerning liability issues at the Cameron County Jail pursuant to motion to acknowledge report of Mr. Burris.
So moved.
By Commissioner
Second.
Garza, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the motion carries.
We need to do D.
D, you skipped D.
Oh, 28D, possible action on deliberation regarding real property concerning acquisition of land for proposed park in Paloma, Precinct 4. Motion to acknowledge report of Mr. Mendez and Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 28 F, G, and C, I'm sorry, F, G, and H. It's, the first one is deliberation regarding granting of a 30-foot foot storm drainage easement to the U.S. Corps of Engineers, Galveston District Precinct 2. The motion to approve giving of the easement. Is that what?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. 28 G, possible action on confer with Commissioners Court Legal Counsel concerning leasing the property at the Cameron County San Benito Annex Site Precinct 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right.
Pete second.
That's the leasing to.
Well, this is acknowledging the survey, right? And you're gonna bring the lease to us
Right.
later.
And that's the leasing to what? To
Maggie and Monica's house.
Casa,
I
right?
should have said that. You're on TV.
Is it Casa or Maggie and Monica's house?
It's,
No.
well,
It's
it's
Maggie.
Maggie's.
Maggie's.
Okay.
Maggie's house.
Children's Advocacy Center.
We're instrumental in bringing that to the Commissioners Court. We want to make sure the public knows that that Cameron County, at the instigation of Commissioner Garza, will be providing property to the Maggie and Monica's house at the Levi Building site in San Benito, where we're going to build a courthouse annex, and it'll be a program to
Not a courthouse, an annex.
Annex courthouse, yeah. It's to help locate these programs, which are to help abused children in our community. All right, all those in favor, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 28 H, possible action on deliberation regarding property concerning acquisition of land for the purpose of Badillo Road right-of-way improvements, Precinct 4. Motion to accept donation.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Tamayo. For discussion, all those in favor, signify by stating aye.
Aye.
You didn't go through any of the regular agenda yet?
We didn't.
None of that.
Let me just say something that I want to clarify. There was an editorial in the Brownsville Herald critical of this Commissioner's Court with respect to the Dancy Building, and I want to, it was a very misleading article, very unfair to this Commissioner's Court with respect to what's happened in the Dancy Building, and I think it's important that the public know the truth, because apparently the Herald is not particularly interested in telling us the truth and telling the public the truth. There was something in that article that said that the building, when it had been proposed for renovation, there was a cost estimate of $4 million. What the Brownsville Herald doesn't tell you is that cost estimate of $4 million came from an unlicensed architect that was hired by the predecessor Commissioner's Court before anybody in this court got on, that included Judge Tony Garza, Carlos Cascos, Lucino Rosenbaum, James Matz, and I think TV Valencia. Nobody in this court was here when that cost estimate came out. That cost estimate was done by an unlicensed architect who subsequently started working on the design of this building. He was not hired by anyone that's sitting here in this room. That unlicensed architect supervised the contractor that was hired over a lower bidder contractor. Every person that is here today did not vote for that. I did not vote for going with the second lowest contractor. That contractor went bankrupt, and we were not able to complete the project as a result of that. No one here had anything to do with that. Those all were actions taken by a separate Commissioner's Court that's not here and hasn't been here for a while. And I think the public needs to know that, and the Herald needs to get a little bit more responsible when they're being critical. All the cost estimates for the construction that has gone on this project have been given by an architect that we hired most of us that are here today hired, and those cost estimates have been close to being correct. And the amounts that have finally been spent in construction are consistent with those cost estimates. And this Commissioners Court was responsible for getting what, $4.8 million grant from the Texas Historical Commission. How much was it? $3.8 million grant from the Texas Historical Commission to complete the construction. Plus, we got another how much to buy the land? Another $300,000. So we've gotten more than $4 million from the Texas Historical Commission, and those cost estimates never included any landscaping, which is something we've added to the project. Never included parking, which is something we've added to the project. So I think the public needs to know the truth here. And Harold is not interested in telling the truth, and I'm sorry that that's the case. But the people that are sitting up here shouldn't be held responsible for actions taken by a Commissioner's Court that are no longer present here and haven't been for quite some time. Okay.
The good news is that there's an end in sight.
And the good news...
And the place is being preserved.
The good news is that the project is beautiful, and we've done something that this courthouse will be the most beautiful courthouse in the state of Texas, and it's a historical site that will add to the beauty of our community, and the work that has been done by this Commissioner's Court has caused it to be in the situation that it is today, in the way it is, at a significant cost savings to the taxpayers of Cameron County. We probably saved 1/3 of the total cost of that courthouse just by getting the grant of the amount of money that our people projected it was going to cost them. And that's the fair thing to report if the Herald was ever interested in being fair.
And the other good news is that there is going to be a first floor restroom, not for Pete Benavides, but for the handicapped people that I was thinking about when I was fighting for it, okay? It wasn't for me, it was for the handicapped people. They didn't have to go up to the second or third floor to do it. That's beautiful too. We didn't have to build the outhouses or anything around it, so we're okay.
A lot of clarification going on this morning. Well, I think
and it needed to be done because it was very unfair, huh?
The other important thing I think that we need to point out is that partnerships are so vital. I mean, we have partnerships in so many different projects, and here, the Historical Association has really come through for us, supporting us. So I think that's the other positive in this project.
And aside from all of that is, we're going to be able to make sure that a cemetery stay undisturbed. An archaeological find.
Those are things that,
as a result of this.
That happened in 1850,
We somehow were held responsible for the fact that there was a cemetery, that the courthouse was built on top of a cemetery over 100 years ago. That's our fault, too. So.
It wasn't this court.
But anyway.
Oh, good. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, we have on item number 3, presentation by Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Is there anyone here on that? Come on up.
Good morning. My name is Julie Smith. I work with Adult Protective Services. I'm a resource and external relations specialist for Region 11. We are here today to talk to you about an Adult Protective Service Special Task Unit. And we've created packets, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Can I lose one?
He's not going to be here. We'll give him one.
Thank you.
Just give it to Remy, and Remy will
Thank
put it in the box.
The Special Task Unit, if you don't know about Adult Protective Services, we investigate abuse, neglect, and exploitation of the aged and disabled. That's people 65 and older, and people 18 and over that are disabled. We are a sister agency of Child Protective Services. The Special Task Unit came out of Senate Bill 6, if you move along in this. In Senate Bill 6 of the 79th Texas Legislature, it states that each county with a population of over 250,000 is required to have a special task unit. And the purpose of that unit is to improve response to adults who are disabled and elderly and that are victims of abuse, neglect, and exploitation, that the unit is a selected group of professionals to work on those cases and staff those cases. And research has shown that with a multidisciplinary approach, that we can get better resolution for our clients if we kind of think out of the box. And so that's what this project is all about. If you look at the beginning of the packet, you can see the statistics. Actually, there's a fact sheet about Adult Protective Services, and then there's statistics about Cameron County.
I'll tell you one thing, with the background information we had already gotten.
Oh, you've gotten it? Oh, great.
Well, yeah, we had gotten this. I was appalled. I was not aware that the numbers were that high. I guess I've been focusing on children so much that I had not done research on this, and I was shocked when I was reviewing it.
We're in our infancy compared to Child Protective Services, and we just haven't gotten the word out properly. And it is, as Child Protective Services has done as well, it's a community effort. It can't just land on the agency, the responsibility. We have to solve these problems as a community, and our aged and disabled folks are very, very vulnerable. So it's crucial that we deal with some of these chronic, very difficult cases as a group. The group would consist of the mandatory members. I'm sorry, there's no page numbers on this, but if you look, there's a chart to the book. The Special Task Unit is required to have a mental health professional, required to have someone in the legal profession, whether that be a Department of Family and Protective Services attorney or a district attorney, whoever would represent us in a court action. Law enforcement, that can be sheriffs and police departments. They kind of operate, differently. Financial experts, as you know, our aged, disabled population are often taken advantage of in financial matters, and that's actually on the increase. A medical person with medical background that can give us information, in regard, I'm not a nurse, in regard to medical things. Domestic violence person. A lot of the cases involve family violence, and they are experts in that, and also a member of the clergy. We have to look at people's faith, and we have to look at what our faith-based partners can do to assist our clients as well. We need not to be doing this in a vacuum. The top three are required components, folks, to have on this Special Task Unit. However, if you look at all of them, they really all fit in the puzzle. And we're recommending, and we hope that you would agree, that this entire, all these professionals need to be included initially in the group.
Did you say the first three?
The first three are required.
Mandated by the law.
Mandated.
Yes, mandated.
Well,
Yes.
I don't see, yeah.
Yeah,
additional
the
ones are
asterisks.
important.
But
What are
we've-
the other recommended categories again?
it's financial,
Medical.
Somebody from the financial community?
mhm,
All right.
medical,
Domestic violence
yeah, domestic violence,
and clergy.
And then the mental health.
right, right. And it would be up to this county whether or not you would want someone from the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department both represented, because, you have outlying areas and then you have cities. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have an APS unit, 4 people in Harlingen and 4 people here in Brownsville that work cases for Adult Protective Services. So we're out there and we're working, and we need to get the Special Task Unit going. The court or the county judge appoints these members. We have the ability, and we have a lot of contact with people in the community, that we can give suggestions or, look at who might be good folks to set on this. But ultimately, it is your decision on.
What I was going to do on that is I was going to ask the commissioners to give me recommendations on those names, and next week I'll come back with a list. What I'll do is, once I get the recommendations from you all, then I'll come back and make sure that everybody's fine with the names.
Right.
So anybody has any I don't have anybody in mind at all on any of these categories, but if there's names that you would be interested, let me know.
Okay.
I know with the very limited resources and personnel that you have, that your department does an excellent job.
Thank you.
Because I've had occasion to deal with some of your workers, social workers, that deal with certain cases. You know, I've got a pharmacy, and for the last 20 years, I've been, you know, kind of working through some issues with them on what you bring forth.
Great.
And you do a very good job. Unfortunately, the guys I knew have retired.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
some of the folks that were there that had been there for quite a while, so, you know, you got new folks working with you now, but I know that you've done a very good job of getting some folks out of some really bad situations.
We'll make sure we share that with the folks here that work in this area.
Yeah.
I will make myself available to answer any questions that the potential people that you might select, because you can read this and it's a good, you know, breakdown of what's going to occur, but they may have additional questions, and I can make myself available to them, whether that's face-to-face or by phone, to, you know, kind of go into it a little bit more.
There doesn't have to be a number, right? It doesn't have to be a certain size.
Well,
We
people
just
are
have-
looking at about 8 to 12, 13. Too large of a group would be difficult to manage. Too small would be too narrow in scope and how we think. So, you know, at least one from each category, and in some cases there may be more than one in a category. And this particular county, every county is very, very individual in their needs and how they deal and approach issues. So, you know, we're kind of, you know, you're the experts as much as we are. And as, of course, you know, this is unfunded, and Adult Protective is available and willing to provide the Special Task Unit coordinator, who will be responsible for most of the administrative work, planning, meetings, keeping, you know, just the whole charge of that. We're available to do that.
So as long as the mandate is met, then we can add to that. That's what I'm understanding from you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The
I can
mandate
see-
is just legal, law enforcement,
Yeah.
and mental health.
Yeah.
Right.
Mental health, legal, and life.
For
I
instance,
can see-
clergy, maybe you would want 2 different clergy people. There could be an attorney.
That's what
We
I was
may
thinking.
provide our own. DAs turn over very quickly, the ones that handle our cases, their intake generally in the county. So their tenure at working with us may be 2 months. So that may not behoove us to have a DA, but we can still provide our attorneys to give us the information we need on the law.
Could you give us when I was reviewing the background information, I didn't find a name and phone number to call
That
for
would
further
be
discussion.
That would be me.
And
I'm
what's-
Julie Smith.
What was your first name?
Smith, Julie Smith.
And what's your phone number?
It's 361-878-7693. And also my cell is 361-728-3319.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Great.
He didn't include those.
Very
in-
brave of you. You know,
I know.
about 10,000 people watching this program now got your cell number.
Yeah, I know. I'm impressed already.
Well, I'm on the
I could
road a
give
lot,
out your cell.
unfortunately, and I have to give that cell number out.
You live where?
I'm housed in Corpus Christi, but I work in Region 11 from here to Corpus to Laredo. And we actually have 3 counties that's doing this. We have Cameron, Hidalgo, and Nueces County. So it's very exciting.
Very
Would
important to the
you have
city.
someone else?
Very important.
I'm sorry.
Pardon?
You have someone else with you this
Yes,
morning?
I do.
And I'd like for you to introduce her.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Ann Cortez, and I'm the Regional Director for Adult Protective Services. And as Julie mentioned, APS is the sister agency to Child Protective, actually the sister program. We're under the same agency. And we're excited to initiate this new special task unit to address a multidisciplinary approach for investigating and working through very difficult abuse, neglect, and exploitation cases in this county. We did provide you the latest figures. Last year, actually in '04, Statewide, we received about 60,000 intake, and in '05 it jumped to about 80,000. So it's becoming an issue that we need to address, and one that I'm excited to look at now, multidisciplinary. And I appreciate your willingness to work with us with this.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions of us?
I most likely will after looking at the rest of the information.
Well, Julie is located in Corpus Christi, but I'm at the regional office here in Edinburgh, actually in Hidalgo County. But we do have staff in this county, and I'll be more than happy to provide Remy with my contact information so that he can share with you.
That would be helpful.
Should you need to get a hold of me for this issue or any issue you may have with regard to adult protective services in your county.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Good.
much.
Thank you for coming before us.
Motion to acknowledge.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Anybody from Library?
They're asked to table
Table
that
it.
until next week.
Okay,
Motion to table.
By
Second.
Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by state aye. Aye, all opposed,
Aye.
motion
We
carries.
didn't do public comment.
Was there anybody?
I asked and there was none.
Thank you.
Amendments, budget amendments, line item transfers and/or salary schedules. Any questions, concerns? I don't think she's here yet.
Any
Do you
additions?
have some
No
additions?
Do we have a motion to
Anything
approve?
else?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Tamayo. For discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, all opposed, motion carries. Minutes, March 14th. Are we ready today? Yes?
I'm ready.
I am.
Okay, March 14th, 2006, all these are 2006, March 14th, 21, 28, 28, April 3rd, 11th, 17th, 25th, and 25th.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Tamayo. Any further discussion? All
I
those-
want to make one comment. You know, I spent a number of hours going through the minutes, and I always like to, in detail, read minutes. And I was very impressed with what these young ladies are putting together nowadays. Very detailed information, very easy to read information. You know, they're to be commended, you know. I found one thing that really was not an issue to discuss with them, you know, in regards to how they put it. They put Mr. Garza for Ramey. I told them I don't want to be confused with Ramey's comments. I don't want to take credit for any of your comments, Ramey. You know, right. But, you know, they're doing a really good job, and they need to be commended, you know.
Right.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Claims. All right, motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve
Second.
claims by Commissioner Benavides, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All
Aye.
opposed, motion carries. Note my abstention. On warrant number 00158879 to Southwest Key Program, and number 00158770 to Laguna Madre Water District. And motion carries. A, consideration of authority to establish a jail infirmary as an independent county department under the medical supervision of the jail infirmary doctor and create a position of jail doctor as an employee. Is that to be tabled?
Richard wanted to know if you could table that item.
So moved.
Second.
I wanted to know if we could table it too. Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Benavides. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. 9, consideration possible approval of contract with Joseph Rata to run state livestock in the unincorporated areas of Cameron County.
Did we ever get that report that we were gonna,
Did we get the information?
I didn't,
do we?
There was
Where is it?
We're going to do it yesterday to Alice, or it could be addressed to the commissioner and the county
I
judge.
didn't.
They might be in the box. Let me check your
We're gonna
box.
make that presentation.
Rainey, you all need to remember
Just
that,
fax them.
at least for Dave and myself, we're not in Brownsville.
The judge was.
And I ain't gonna come get one piece of
And we
paper.
don't waste gas by coming to check our mailbox.
Okay, while he's doing that, let's take up the consent
If I
items.
would do that,
We'll be
you
back
guys
on
would
this
hate it.
issue. Consent items 10 through 25, and travel item 26. Any questions, concerns, comments, complaints? Do we need to knock anything out of this?
I have one question, Judge, on 29, and I'm sure that Mark goes over them.
20.
29, what is it?
You mean,
Yeah, just,
Well, that's a
uh,
travel item.
it's a travel, you know. E,
26.
F, $358 airfare to San Antonio? I mean,
it's a little high.
I don't know, I mean, you review those.
That one did catch my attention, it was, I spent a lot of time looking at it. But there shouldn't be $358 airfare.
But you take care of that, right? Okay.
It brought my attention already.
And then we have another group of folks going to Houston. It might be worth considering, and I don't know, we don't have a policy, but it might be worth considering doing an air charter when we have like 8 people going to the same place. I mean, really, you know, we have operators at our airport that are always looking for work.
It takes 4 hours and a half to drive to.
Let me tell you what the
No,
Chinese...
this is to Houston.
Oh.
The other one I was talking about.
David, what the Chinese are doing, and we might have to do this here, they're taking 6 of the chairs, sitting chairs in the plane out, and they're putting 26 people standing, so we might have to be doing that for a cheap price, you know, they can stand. Ibaja, you know. So,
Well, I would not want to do...
Now they're standing them up, it has more room.
I wouldn't want to do that to our folks, okay?
I know that, but we might, the future might hold that for us.
You know.
All county employees, standing room only, vámonos.
But the 8 are going to Houston.
I'd rather go on my
The same
camel.
place, the same dates, you know, and you know, I applaud these folks for going, but, you know, I mean, it's like,
And not wait till the last minute to get their tickets. I don't know if they're doing that or not, because I just got a
You got your
ticket to
tickets
San
14
Francisco
days ahead, you get 'em
for
all.
less than that.
Half the price. Okay. Any other questions, concerns, or comments?
Move for approval.
Motion to approve. by
Second.
Commissioner Tamayo, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Say aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Wait, we got that Sahata.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Take some time and review that report if you want. We're not in any big hurry.
First National. They look mean.
What I'm going to ask, but what I wanted to see was how much we spent total. Do you happen to have that?
We don't spend anything.
No, I mean, well, not spent, but how much did it generate? In other words, we're looking at a certain amount we're going to pay him. I mean, that he's going to get paid, not that we're paying.
Well, I didn't tell you anything to do with money, so all I got was statistics as far as.
Well, I didn't
involved.
think you had, that's why I said you probably
Right.
weren't. I was just curious.
when you have a dry run, it says most calls are dry runs due to owners being notified and livestock returning to premises. When you have a dry run, your dry run, is it not your officers though?
No,
I
sometimes.
mean, so your officers, if I make a 911 call and tell you there's a cow loose on, you know, the processing plant on 100, you know, you don't send an officer to go
Yes,
check it out?
There's times that we do send an officer, there's times that we simply contact the officer in charge of stray cattle.
Okay.
Stray animals. Depending on the situation, Commissioner, because there's times when we have all our units tied up and we cannot,
Respond?
respond. Sometimes he gets there before one of our officers does.
The officer will sit in his car and call me and says, well, Joe, there's a mad cow out here. He's not gonna get out of his truck. I'll load up a few horses and go. The cow jumps back in. I am not allowed to go in someone's pasture even if there's one strand of wire holding it up, knowing that most likely in a
It's gonna
couple
come
of
out again.
hours, Sheriff's Department gets the call again, and there we go again. You know, isolated cases.
But you notify the person that doesn't have a fence that'll hold the cows in.
I take care of that, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because if you don't, then you're gonna be going back.
Ma'am, yeah, I've been on about a year now, and I've tried to locate every pasture, every owner of every cow in the area, and I've had luck with it. It's just unpredictable with the work with livestock.
Where do you
Headquarters, Los Fresnos.
It's not over here at on 281?
No, sir, we're in the middle of Cameron County, Los Fresnos, so I can get to every area
Okay.
in pretty
I
considerable.
know I had a problem that someone gave me a cow years back, you know, and it escaped and it ended up over here on 281. I had to pay a lot of money to get it out, you know. But, you know, that's what they're there for.
Did you
know?
keep your cow in the backyard?
No, they have, bad boy.
Again, this is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week job. We're not talking about these cattle are gonna get out from 8 to 5 and I can go.
We know
We're looking
that.
at Sunday morning, 3 in the morning, we're looking at Saturday night. I'm on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can't tell the sheriff's department, you know what, I'm at a dance, guys, I can't go. I just can't do that. When they want me, they need me, and
I mean, Joe has a business, he has a Los Fresnos Farm and Ranch.
I'm in
So
the
that's his,
rodeo business,
that's his
the rodeo
business.
horse business. So
I
when they
like
call
it.
me, most likely I have a horse ready to go, trailers ready to go.
So you can respond at any?
Yes, ma'am. This is what I do for a living, so I don't have another job and have to punch out or maybe have to wait till after 5 to go help y'all. I'm there.
Does it only consist of cattle or horses too?
Cattle and horses, I've had
Camels?
Brownsville call me, Joe, there's a goat in my backyard chasing my
Yeah.
kid. Well, I gotta make that call too, y'all, or, you know. Of course, I had a call saying, pick up a dead horse, come shoot a horse with a broken leg, and a lot of guys don't know how to shoot one, and I can hire a vet for y'all, and it's gonna cost you $200 or $300, but I can put a bullet in his.
Hey, stop right there, Joe, okay? Stop right there.
You have to be sensitive to.
Those are isolated cases.
No.
Judge, I move that we go ahead and approve
Yeah,
the contract, okay?
I'll second it, but I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we spend a lot of time burying dead horses.
Yes, ma'am.
He doesn't bury those.
Oh, I wanted to ask.
No,
if
that's
you
Public
did.
Works, okay?
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Or
We
internet.
spend,
They call-
that's 24 hours a day.
They
I'll
call,
second it.
they call us, you know.
Yeah,
Or,
I already
yeah,
seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
Tomas will be here next week, Joe.
Dead horses, really?
Yeah?
Yes, and
Joe,
that's, I mean,
Call
on
from the Humane
weekends.
Society.
Just go dig it with a backhoe and.
Yeah, get the backhoe and one Saturday that they called me, I was having
Did
trouble
you-
getting
okay,
a hold of
did
anyone.
you
I was
second
ready
it?
to do the
I think
backhoe.
it was at.
Okay, you know, if,
All those in favor?
look, wait a minute, I better not make this motion,
I will.
okay?
I'll second
I'll
it.
make a motion.
I'll second.
No, go ahead.
All
I'll
those-
second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I'll abstain on this one, okay?
Why may I ask?
Because my kid is a good friend of that guy.
Oh, I thought because of the.
Well, then, listen to me.
Because he shoots horses.
A couple of things. Number one, what was the amount of the contract and how's it supposed to, I never saw the contract. And number two, there's not funds within the sheriff's department's budget to pay for any amount. Actually, they're
From the commissary
over on all
fund.
of them.
Contract is for $15,000 a year.
It comes from the commissary fund at the jail.
Commissary can't pay
No.
for that.
Why not?
Because it's not for the betterment of the
Yeah.
inmates.
I just gave
Commissary
her
is
a
only
last
used to
one,
be
I'll
used
take
for
it.
This is for the betterment of the inmates.
So,
Here, sign this thing.
Take care, Joe.
Find some money, where?
one of the issues that I have, there's not sufficient lap salaries right now to cover within the sheriff's department or the jail either. I've been using that to cover the overtime costs and some of the operational expenditures within their departments. We're supposed to have the mid-year review next week, and there's, of course, the utility costs and fuel costs are still rising. There's issues with that, and the appointed attorneys for child welfare is also extremely high. I believe if it's about 15,000, it'd be between 5,000 and 6,000, I guess, for the remainder of the year for this contract.
7,500.
Well, yeah, 5. Depends. I don't know what the start date is or when it's going to. I guess it's today.
Is it 15,000 a year? or
It's 15,000
A year.
So is it prorated out to the end of the fiscal year?
It's a very.
It's,
I don't know.
I didn't put a
Yeah,
date,
it's in
because I didn't know if you were
my
gonna approve it today, but it would start this month.
So it's
Go-
half of that, 7,500.
Oh, he has to use.
Yeah.
5 years. I don't have funds right now to allocate to it. That's the only problem that I have. I really don't.
We'll give it a recommendation.
You're the budget
If we can wait
officer.
till next week.
You'll do it?
Yes, because we're also doing the mid-year review.
All right, so
And there's a
we'll
list of things that I need to bring
Starting
back.
next week,
We'll table it?
and then you'll find the budget for
Then we
that.
have to table it?
Well, it's,
Subject
the
to
motion
funds.
is to start, to fund it starting next week with funds determined by the budget officer next week. Okay? All right?
So we have to add that to the motion?
Yeah, that was in the motion, that's the second. All
Wait a
those in
minute.
favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion to adjourn.
It's a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Was this gentleman waiting for something?
Were you waiting for something, sir?
I was waiting for the bid openings for the Conway Park.
Okay, we've approved opening of the bids.
I know, I thought they were gonna go.
So,
All right, motion to adjourn, so moved.
Item number 2, we're not waiting for discussions or...
Oh, she was gonna come at 11, right?
Yeah.
Lord, see, oh, did anybody let her know?
Yeah, at 11.
At 11?
Yeah, she was supposed to be here at 11.
Okay, we'll wait.
well, then I have to
Don't leave the cameras yet, okay, we need to have her for the cameras.
I want to go over that.
Huh?
Tell her to drive it fast.
Does you want to recess the court for 15
We'll recess
So
for
moved.
15 minutes.
Okay, I'll second. Aquí los hemos esperado
We're back
que
into
todos
the
días no
regular
había
session.
más.
We usually have this at the beginning of the program, but I thought I was going to be late because I had a doctor's appointment. But, I was early. So we're good.
He's
That was
fine. He's
earlier,
not
but
sick.
I'm
He
good. I'm going to be fine. But I wanted to be here for this, so that's why I moved it, because I think it's a very special thing. We have a resolution that we adopted on the 14th day of March, and it's consideration and adoption of a resolution recognizing Gloria Casas for her dedicated public service and her many contributions to the community. And I'm going to go up here, as I usually do.
Gloria?
We, this Sunday was the International Day of the Child. And it's a day where we as human beings in the Western Hemisphere celebrate our child and pray for our child, because our children are the most important thing in our lives. And when we as people who are concerned for our community begin the process of deciding what we're going to do with our lives, we, obviously decide that we want to get ourselves prepared to live a good life, and a life that will contribute to society, to have children, and to do things to improve our world that we live in. And we can make decisions on what we want to do by examining a bunch of different issues that are presented to us every day. But sometimes, when we make that decision, it comes naturally to us to decide that the most that we can contribute is by helping our children become better citizens, by helping them overcome obstacles that they're presented with, and by making sure that we give them the guidance that they need to be in a position to improve this world, to make this world a better place to live in, and to have their lives better lives than what they are. Gloria has made a decision in her life to do all three of those things that I've just mentioned. But most of all, in addition to raising a wonderful family, she has given her entire life to our children, and has made an enormous impact to our children in the community, not just of La Feria, but in the entire Rio Grande Valley. And I'm going to read some of the things she's done in the resolution, but she's been on the school board for many years. Since I've known her, she's been on the school board in La Feria. She's now on the regional school board for the Rio Grande Valley as well. She works for Cameron County as the director of the centers that we have, the family learning centers that we have all across Cameron County. And when we got the opportunity to get her, we jumped at it because we knew she would be natural for that position. I know Edna and I talked about it as soon as she became available, and I will tell you this, that the name that came out of my mouth instantly was your name. So, because I felt that you just be exactly what we needed. I mean, Edna had been running them for a while, and you know, she did an outstanding job because she's just like you, her life has been children as well. But she also has her other job as a commissioner, and she needs someone to help her guide the system through its growth and through its infancy, but now it's a teenager, where hopefully the system will become an adult. It's family learning centers, but it'll be a full-grown family learning center. It isn't already. So you've just been an outstanding member of this community, and that's why it was natural for us to want to recognize you for all your service. And let me read to you this resolution. It says, consideration and adoption of a resolution. Why don't you stand over here where the cameras can see you a little bit better here. Consideration and adoption of a resolution recognizing Gloria Casas for her dedicated public service and her many contributions to the community. Whereas Ms. Gloria Casas is a native of Cameron County and a product of Cameron County Schools, having graduated from Harlingen High School. And whereas public service is a calling, Ms. Casas answered early
100,000. So every month encouraged
before going on to serve as United Migrants for Opportunity, Planned Parenthood, and Suplinica Familiar before joining the Cameron County Health Department. And by the way, I didn't even mention that she worked with indigent women for many years at the Suplinica Familiar, helping them in health issues that are presented to indigent women throughout our county. For many years, you did an outstanding job in serving the community there. Whereas in her work at the Cameron County Health Department, Ms. Casas oversees the family learning centers, the many successes of which reflect her lifelong dedication to learning and youth development. And whereas Ms. Casas' role as a public servant also extends to her tenure as an elected official, in which she spent 12 years on the La Feria Independent School District Board of Trustees, many of which she's been the president of the Board of Trustees. And whereas apart from her extensive public service career, Ms. Casas is also actively involved in the community, playing an important role in the La Feria Parental Awareness League, Monica's House, and in the Rio Grande Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse. And whereas Ms. Casas is also known by her many friends as a person of deep faith and strong family values, as reflected by the success of 4 children and her long-standing as a parishioner of St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church. And whereas these and many other reasons, it is altogether fitting and proper to honor Ms. Gloria Casas for her dedicated public service and her many contributions to the community. Now therefore be it resolved that Ms. Gloria Casas is hereby honored for her dedicated public service and her many contributions to the community. Approved the 14th day of March 2006, signed by the Cameron County Commissioner of Court, Minneapolis.
We need to add that she graduated from college. Your graduation is when?
May 13th.
Oh, that's great news.
Yes,
I'm so happy for you. I knew you were in school, but today is going to be the graduation.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Commissioner, you want to come down?
Ya me iba a poner a llorar porque no me invitaron.
Come on, Pete.
Well, tell us something. You have
That was how excited you are working with us.
Primeramente, les quiero dar las gracias y lo quiero decir en español por la razón de que mi papá y mi mamá están presentes aquí y ellos prefieren el español. So, si me permiten, hablaré en español para darles las gracias públicamente a mi papá y a mi mamá. Ama, te quiero dar las muchas gracias por todo el respaldo que me diste siempre. Siempre fuiste mi inspiración para seguir adelante, ayudando gente. Yo creo que no hay ni una persona en este valle de Rio Grande que mi mamá no trata de ayudar. Esa es mi mamá, todo el mundo la conoce. Muchísimas gracias, mamá, por todo lo que me has ayudado y me has enseñado. Le quiero dar las gracias a mi papá, Víctor Santillán, por verme inspirado a seguir adelante. Mi papá es una clase de persona que, a pesar de que no tuvo escuela formal, ha sido una persona que lo conocen desde McAllen hasta Brownsville, porque él ha hecho muchas casas, es a bricklayer, y siempre ha estado, lo respetan mucho por su trabajo. Papá, le quiero dar las gracias por ser mi padre y verme dado el ser que soy. También mi papá ha sido muy importante en la familia de nosotros. Tengo un hermano que es maestro y él también enseña a poner ladrillo y siempre ha llevado niños a Nationals. Acaba de venir el niño el estudiante de mi hermano, ganó primer lugar y va a ir para Nationals porque mi papá le enseñó a mi hermano a poner el ladrillo. Eso sigue para adelante. Les quiero dar las gracias a los dos por ser mi papá y mi mamá. Y le quiero dar las gracias a mi hermana, la casualidad que ella fue la que pudo venir conmigo. Siempre ella ha andado conmigo, me tiene en su altar, mi retrato ahí, siempre que he andado en school board, ella me tiene en su altar y me reza por mí todos los días. So thank you, sister. I'm glad you're here.
Can you include us too in your prayers?
En last but not least, mi compañero de 35 años, Jaime Casas, que sin él realmente no podía haber hecho nada porque él siempre me ha respaldado. Cuando me siento que ya no puedo, él siempre me dice, sí puedes, y yo sé que sí puedes. And so, thank you, Jaime. I love you very much, and I appreciate everything you supported me for. Thank you. And Commissioner, I just want to thank all of you for this honor. This is just, it means a lot more than you can imagine. To have my mom and my dad here, it means the world to me. To have my oldest, she's like my oldest sister because she guides me. And my husband means to get them together in one room. God, I always believe that God has every occasion set for a reason. There's a reason why all of us are here. And we will know más adelante, what is going to result from this. So I want to thank you, and I feel very humble that you did this for me. It just means so much. It means so much to my children. Fortunately, they could not be here. All of them are working and going to school and what have you. But they're also happy that I'll be graduating May 13. I went back to school, and with my husband's help, these past 2 years, I've been going to school every Saturday, every night, and what have you, and I'll be graduating May 13. And so I want to thank you for this opportunity, and know that I respect you, each one of you. And thank you again, and may God bless you and continue to take care of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I've known Gloria for a long time. My husband has known her longer than I have. And I respect the Santillan family. I know his extended family very well. Sean is one of my dear, dear friends. And I think the Santillan family and the Casas family, because I've seen Jaime, the way he supports Gloria, to them it's a way of life. It's a way of life helping others. Like I say, your extended family demonstrates that also. Toda la familia que conozco yo de los Santillans y ahora Jaime, que tengo el privilegio de conocerlo mejor, han demostrado la importancia de estar unidos y es algo que cuando le ayudan al prójimo es algo muy natural y lo hacen sinceramente. So I think that these families are a tremendous example of what families can do for others and the strength that we have in our county when families help others, when we help each other. And I know that, Pete, in your precinct, you find this also, and I'm sure the other commissioners do too. I'm just so grateful for Precinct 4 because there are many other families like yours, and that's what makes our precinct strong.
Yo quería nada más, a mí me impresionaron bastante porque yo no la conocí, no tenía el honor de conocerlos a ustedes, ¿verdad? Pero anoche que me había dicho el juez que iba a ir al doctor probablemente al hospital, iba a checarse, a darse unos exámenes. Entonces yo agarré resolución que me habían dado, ¿verdad? Y vi, lo primero que me gustó fue el nombre, porque mi madre se llama Gloria y mi hija también Gloria, ¿verdad? So empecé a leer de usted, ¿verdad? Porque quería aprender y usted no sabía si iba a estar Y me impresionó bastante, ¿verdad? Todo lo que ha hecho usted, pero también ahorita que mencionó a su padre, me impresionó bastante también, porque ya sabemos de dónde vienen las cualidades de ustedes, ¿verdad? Porque dice, pues I was a bricklayer, ¿verdad? Que él era albañil, parece que les dicen, ¿verdad? Albañiles. Y luego se lo pasó a su hijo y su hijo se lo pasó al otro y luego ya van al nivel del nacional. Es impresionante eso, ¿verdad? Porque agarrar una cosita tan pequeña y son los mejores, ¿verdad? Que hay. No lo más the best, you know? Y eso me impresiona bastante a mí, ¿no? Que qué bonito es eso.
Una de las cosas que yo quería decir también, well, two things that I wanted to add to what I said earlier. Primeramente, yo a veces me sorprende que personas como usted y como mi comisionada aquí tienen tanta energía. Yo no sé, a veces al fin del día, a las 7, 8 de la tarde, cuando ha tenido un día muy largo, ya no puedo yo andar y las miro a ustedes, a las dos, como el Ever Ready Bunny, nunca paran de trabajar. A mí tiene tanta energía. Nomás hemos mencionado pocas cosas que ha hecho Gloria. También she was a Valley Interfaith leader for a long time and very, very involved with Valley Interfaith. The things that she does in her church are enormously important for the community as well. And the other thing that I don't know if you know Gloria, you know that this is that she has dedicated her life to children, particularly Hispanic children, who didn't have all the opportunities presented to them at an early age and have been disadvantaged and sometimes need the extra help to be able to make it. She understands better than anybody else. Ella entiende más que todos que nuestros hijos en la comunidad hispana tienen el potencial para poder hacer el liderazgo de mañana, the leaders of tomorrow. She has a lot of faith in our Hispanic children and on how they can pull themselves up, and that they just need dedication from the leadership in the community to make sure that they achieve the goals that are presented before them. And she's dedicated her entire life to that. That's, you see her on the school board because she, le duele el corazón when she sees, Mexican American children that are having problems because they haven't been given those opportunities, and she knows that they have the potential to do well, and she's rolled up her sleeves and works hard to ensure that they do get those opportunities. She's doing that in the school board and all the projects she's been involved. It's a big thing that she's done with Valley Interfaith, and she just believes that they deserve a chance. It's the ultimate Christian heart, the way I see it, is that the need to give back to the community because God expects that from us. And that's when it's not just about going to church and going through the rituals that we all go through. It's about actually living the life that Christ intended for us to live, and that's life that is a dedication to public service, and you do that better than anybody else I know. So congratulations for that. And I wanted to point that out because sometimes there's people out there that like to get titles and stuff, but that's what it is. It's a title. There's people out there that like to do stuff for the community, and they're not worried about the title. They're just worried about getting things done, and Gloria fits the latter category. And we're very proud of you and very happy y muy orgulloso que la tenemos aquí en la comunidad, y los felicito a ustedes, los dos, los padres y la madre, y la familia y el esposo. Yo sé que mi esposa a veces no me ve por días, pues sabiendo bien que uno está trabajando, y es un sacrificio de toda la familia, ¿verdad? Pero es el sacrificio de la familia que le ayudó a Gloria llegar al punto donde ella ha llegado para que ella pueda ayudar a nuestra comunidad. el esposo, los padres, toda la familia. It's a family effort, so los felicito a todos ustedes y que Dios los bendiga a ustedes para siempre, porque nos han bendecido a ustedes con todo su trabajo.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so
Motion for
to
adjournment?
adjourn by Commissioner Pomada, second by Commissioner Benavides. All